Well, under the current administration, officials on our southern border encountered over 11 million immigrants trying to enter the country illegally. While many Border Patrol agents are encouraged by President-elect Trump's return to the White House, the crisis has taken a devastating toll. CBN's Tara Mergener brings us that story.
After years of frustration and overwhelming challenges, Border Patrol agents are expressing optimism about seeing meaningful immigration reform. Part of that is due to Trump policies they believe will prioritize border security and provide essential support for those on the front lines. On a scorching day in the Rio Grande Valley, dozens of Border Patrol agents and their families take a rare break. Music blares and children play as volunteers from Operation Border Blessing serve food and hand out care packages. It's a moment to pause and reflect in a role that leaves little room for respite.
To really let the Border Patrol agents and their families know that they're loved, valued, and appreciated.
As the chaos continues here, border officials say the election results are providing agents a much-needed boost.
We received hundreds of calls, texts, emails, just saying how happy the agents are.
Enthusiasm resulting from a promise of greater enforcement, accompanied by the announcement of Tom Homan as border czar. Border authorities have felt intense pressure since the Biden administration reversed Trump-era immigration policies on day one. By some estimates, more than 20 million people have illegally entered the U.S. since then.
They want to arrest smugglers and criminals that are trying to come across the border illegally. But for the most of this presidency, 3.5 years under Biden and Harris, they've been relegated to this humanitarian mission where droves and droves of people from all over the world with their children are coming across the border.
Among the more frustrating policies for agents is catch and release.
You work so hard, and then at the end of the day, just to see a large amount of subjects being released into our nation, it weighs on you. Not everyone gets vetted, and it's scary seeing people come through the border that you don't know where they're coming from.
Add to that, migrants from more than 160 countries, including 700,000 with criminal records, released into the U.S., as well as an influx of deadly drugs like fentanyl.
We're like the sidelines of a parade route. We see it come through and it goes to your neighborhoods.
Sadly, unaccompanied children are also part of these statistics. And according to a Homeland Security report, an alarming number of them are missing.
Over 300,000 children have been lost under this administration. We don't know where they're at.
Ongoing stress takes a heavy toll on agents' mental health. Since 2021, at least 33 Border Patrol agents have committed suicide, with 14 in 22 alone, the highest number in recent history.
We've seen what happens to the kids, to the young women, to women in general. We've seen the death.
Staffing shortages combined with recruitment challenges intensify the strain, with many agents leaving, citing burnout and frustration.
There's been an unending flow of humanity across that border for the last 3.5 years, and they see people getting over on the system. They see parole being abused. They see these people being released all over the country.
Members of the media are getting slammed for pushing a narrative that Border Patrol agents on horseback were using, quote, whips.
Public perception only makes the job harder, with agents often portrayed as enemies in this debate.
There's times that we get vilified and we get seen through a different light. The media doesn't really cover the full story or covers a portion of it. And so when you see things like that, it's disheartening.
These are some of the most compassionate, professional people I've ever met in my life. And so to be characterized as heartless or cold or uncaring is anything but the truth.
A change in leadership brings hope they can see the most challenging chapter in their history begin to close. what needs to be done here to help you?
I think the biggest thing is we need to be allowed to start doing our jobs again, and allowing us to enact our policies again.
In response to the suicide rate, improvements in mental health services have been expanded. Meanwhile, many agents are looking forward to increased support and resources that will help them restore border security. In Washington, I'm Tara Mergener, CBN News.
Well, thanks, Tara, for that encouraging report. And I'll say it's probably a report you're not going to see on other news media because it doesn't play into the administration's narrative. I could never figure out why they did it. Why would you put up a welcome sign on our borders and not expect it to be abused? What in the world were you doing, and what were you thinking? It clearly played a role in the election. It clearly played a role in Harris's defeat. But from a longer-term standpoint, what in the world happened? And why would you take on the state of Texas if you're not going to enforce the immigration laws? Why would you try to stop Texas from protecting its own border? All of these things, it literally made no sense. And then at the end, to try to blame Republicans, well, we tried to get a bill through. You didn't need a bill. What part of illegal immigrant don't you understand? There was already a law in the book that says that they shouldn't come in. You made a decision not to enforce the current law. And the toll on the agents tasked with enforcing that law is quite obvious. Why are we even here if you're just going to give them a free pass and a bus ticket to Chicago or a plane ticket to wherever you want? All of it makes no sense, but clearly the American people saw through whatever it is they were trying to campaign on. I hope we're able to enforce our borders. I hope we're able to do that, and let's send the message loud and clear to all the 160 countries these immigrants are coming from. No, you can't come in illegally. You only have one pathway to the United States, and that's through the Immigration Service, where you present your credentials, you're properly vetted, and decisions are made. Do you have the privilege of now coming to the United States?